I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Maddie Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Hey you guys, I'm so sorry I haven't had to do this in a while, but I made a horrible mistake when I was introducing one of the guest stars. I accidentally called him Eric Edelstein, and it should be Eric Pierpoint. Chief Trumple. I said his name wrong because Eric Edelstein is actually the one who, he's in a bunch of stuff, but he plays Andy's nemesis in like season 1 and 2, and I must have seen him online, or I don't know, something happened in my brain where I accidentally said his name, but Eric Pierpoint, how much can I say it, is the one that did all the work and sent in all the voice memos and played an amazing Chief Trumple and gave us some amazing information and knowledge. I did tag him correctly on both Instagram and the show notes, so please follow him. He is doing some amazing independent work right now and also has some novels out for kids, which are, so cool. Again, I linked everything in the show notes correctly. So I am so sorry that I did that, but I do hope you enjoy the episode, and just know that every time I say his name, Eric Edelstein, I mean to say Eric Pierpoint. Oh my gosh, I feel awful. But please enjoy this episode, and I'm so sorry to Eric Pierpoint. Thank you for being a wonderful Chief Trumple. Enjoy, everybody. Okay, ready? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh my gosh, we have a treat today. Kris Carr is here.
Hello.
As you all know and love. Maddie, I don't think that we have recorded a podcast since then, but Maddie has had her baby. And so exciting, so precious, our little park pal. So she is not here today and might not be for a couple weeks because maternity leave is a thing, and that includes here. So, but she'll be sending in summaries and stuff like that. So we love that so much.
There's maternity leave at Park Pals? You guys are a great podcast. Shit.
One day I will be able to provide payment to all my people and it will be great.
Hell yes.
Which, side note, speaking of that, I mean, I guess it doesn't really coincide, but kind of. You know how I've been having Mia kind of look at like my social media, and I was like trying to understand the insights and stuff, and she was like, you have a lot of people that are liking your stuff, or like it's reaching a lot of people, but they're not following you. So you guys, if you are listening or watching, go ahead and follow. Let me save you some time. You know,
smash that subscribe button.
Smash it. I see that you are looking at me, so might as well just follow. Hello.
Exactly.
Hello. Speaking of subscribe, though, also, like, I don't know if you've heard this, but on quite a bit of quite a bit of podcasts that I follow, have been like talking / have like a disclaimer at the beginning saying like, if you haven't listened to the podcast, or like if you haven't opened your Apple in a while, like you might need to click plus again on Apple Podcasts because it may have unsubscribed you. And sometimes it's even if you have already listened, or have been listening rather, like the plus sign has gotten like unchecked or something with Apple's going on. So if the plus sign is not on your podcast when you are listening to this or any other podcast that you like, please click that, because that helps everything, the algorithm, and it helps people like be able to find the podcast a little bit more. But yeah, so that's just some housekeeping. And then while you're there, rate and review us, because I would love to get some more reviews. That would be fun. I love seeing them, so please do that. Okay, that's pretty much all my housekeeping. You guys, this is a long fucking episode. I'm just going to say this episode of Park Pals, not necessarily the show, because I got quite a bit of voice memos from people that are reaching back out I reached.
I rotched out.
I reached out to people after the strike. I kept a list of all the people that weren't super comfortable giving me voice memos or talking about the show during the strike. And quite a bit of people sent me stuff after the fact, now that the strike is over. So I'm very stoked about that. I haven't actually listened to them because number one, I think it's nice to react in real time, but also I just like haven't had a lot of time to like edit them and whatever. So I think it'll be nice to see what they say.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say, here's another recap moment why it's taking long, is that I got so excited, and I made a video about this, but this won't come out for a while if you've seen it. But I have been seeing so many people from parks on different things, different shows, different movies, different everything. And I kind of just wanted to like shout that out if you haven't yet. First one is No Hard Feelings. It's on Netflix right now. It's that movie with Jennifer Lawrence. And I thought it was really cute. And Gene Stupnitsky, who worked very heavily on The Office, who I think had something to do with parks, but I don't know for sure. Either way, he's in the Sherbers. He wrote and directed it. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was watching the credits, and Kirsten Mann, who did costumes for parks, also did costumes for that movie.
Oh, nice.
And I reached out to her, and I was like, oh my God, I saw your name in the credits, and I'm like so stoked to see that. And I was actually thinking that too. Jennifer Lawrence's outfits / dresses in that movie are so cute. And she was like, oh my gosh, it was so fun. Happy New Year. And I was like, thanks so much. We interviewed her, by the way, so I'll post that in the show notes if you're interested in hearing, because it's so interesting to hear how she relates to costumes. And then, what else was I going to say? Oh, Natalie Morales, who plays Lucy. Yeah. She plays Jennifer Lawrence's best friend, and it's so cute and precious, and she plays a pregnant lady, and it's, like, lovely. Nick Offerman is in Candy Cane Lane, and like I said, he does a British accent, and sometimes it's suspect, but it's still cute and fun, and he's awesome and so great, and I love him anyway, so whatever. And then Jim O'Hare, aka Jerry, is in the Santa Clauses on Disney Plus. I didn't even know that they were doing that, but yeah, they like revamped it, and it was so funny because my mom and I were watching the Santa Claus movies for Christmas while she was here, and then randomly, I thought it was the algorithm, but which it probably was that too. But I saw Tim Allen on Jimmy Fallon, and I was like, why is he on there right now? And lo and behold, they have 2 seasons of the Santa Clauses. Like, it's a series.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. And like, are they necessary? No. Are they funny and cute during Christmas? Sure. Why not? And they have this like Christmas Carol situation where they do like Ghosts of Santa Past kind of thing, and Jim O'Hare plays one of the Santas, and it's so cute.
One of the previously murdered Santas.
Yeah.
Because let's be clear, that is a movie about manslaughter.
Yeah.
It's chilling when Charlie at the end of that movie says, I'm going to get into the family business. Oh, you're going to murder your father?
You're
going to
wild.
push him off a roof?
Well, and I wonder, like, can they just die naturally? Can they just retire? I forgot what the whole clause on that is. I don't know how that works. I don't remember. Because he tried to.
I just know that first one.
Yeah. And that's what Tim Allen said on Jimmy Fallon when he read the script. He was like, so did I kill somebody? Like, dude, is that what's happening? And I think they had, I'll have to send it to you if I find it again, but they had a whole, like, situation on how they were going to do it. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, it's very cute. And then what is it? I think it's also the Santa Clauses that, what's his name? From Modern Family. One of the gay dudes is like the evil Santa. And
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really funny. And then that one, oh my gosh. I'm just going to describe people to you. I don't know. I don't remember their names. But the one comedian who presented at Golden Globes, actually, he's Hispanic, a bigger guy, super funny, super cute. He is
Fluffy.
Is that his name? Or what he goes by?
His real name is I want to say Gabriel.
That sounds
I have a computer literally right in front of me.
I do too.
Yes, Gabriel Iglesias.
Okay, he's in it too, and he's so funny and precious, and he loves Christmas, and it's his whole thing. So,
oh, cute.
Anyway, I just wanted to shout out everybody that is in all these things, and you should definitely watch it. Okay, voice memos. So exciting. The first one is from Dani Fish, who played one of the gals in Pawnee Rangers. She was like the one that, oh my gosh, she basically Leslie has that line of like, yeah, great idea, Lauren. And she's like, what? And she has like the brown pigtails.
Okay.
But she was super fun. So let me go ahead and see if this will play for us.
Hey, Holly. Thanks for having me back on the podcast. I'm excited to answer your questions now. When I was auditioning for this one, I do remember it very vividly because it was one of the more exciting bookings at that time for me. And I just remember coming in and doing some of the improv, which was so fun with casting. They were a really great office. And I think the energy that they projected at the time there was really helpful to see how fun and creative the set would end up being. Yeah, the exterior of the cabin, that was all at Disney Ranch, and then the interiors were all on the soundstage. Just like what I was saying for the audition, I still remember that set experience very vividly. I mean, the girls were super kind and nice, the boys too, and I mean, Amy and Nick, Aubrey, everyone was so talented. I was in awe the whole time, not even knowing that it was an amazing show like Parks and Rec, just with the sheer talent that was around me. And I remember they did the scenes, you know, based off the script, and we did that a couple times, and then they really let the main actors go just crazy after that with some improvised lines and scenes, and I was in awe the whole time. It was just amazing to watch, and it showed me how you can still stay creative on set, even when you do have the script. It does give me like a huge sense of just love and appreciation for improv still now. I did know that I was going to be in multiple scenes. I was super grateful that I was able to have that many scenes with Nick and Amy and just be little, I don't know, mini Amy. Another story I definitely think is worth mentioning is around like 3 or 4 years after Pawnee Rangers. Yeah, I was in high school. So around then, my mom ran into Amy Poehler and she was like, hey, like, do you happen to remember my daughter, Dani Fish? She was in Pawnee Rangers with you. And not only did Amy Poehler remember me, she quoted my lines to my mom. I mean, that's amazing, you know? I've memorized so many lines in my freaking life already. Like, I don't even remember my own lines. So I thought that was really kind and respectful, and I'm glad I made some kind of mark in her memory. But Amy Poehler is amazing, goddess. After I did Parks and Rec, I ended up going to LACHSA, which is a performing arts high school in LA. And then after that, I was lucky enough to go to USC and study theater as well as film. And while I was there, I also wanted to explore the industry, see if there were any other corners I could see myself in. And so I took a lot of different types of positions, and I ended up finding myself in a completely unexpected path. Recently, I've been doing archival producing work for documentaries and post-management as well, and I absolutely love it. I think it's just amazing to tell, you know, real stories, and the research for it I find absolutely fascinating. Some of the notable titles are The Way Down, absolutely insane documentary on HBO, Poisoned, which came out on Netflix, as well as Last Chance U Basketball on Netflix, and Wrestlers, which came out this fall. Amazing show. I just am enamored by the people on it. I knew absolutely nothing about wrestling. I couldn't have cared less, and by the time I was done working on it, I was really impressed by the people who are in that field. They have amazing stories to tell. And yeah, I'm working with the same team now, and the next one should be out this summer. I'm really excited for that one as well, and we'll see where this takes me. But in the meantime, I still audition, I do voiceover projects and stuff like that, and yeah, I'll always be in the industry, so we'll see where this continues to lead me. Thanks so much for having me, guys. It's really exciting that you're watching the show and just breaking it down. I couldn't say better things about my experience. Just amazing people in all, and I'm grateful that you reached out to me. Thanks so much.
Yay! That was so cute.
I love her.
I know, so succinct, so knowledgeable, spoken so
gosh.
well.
I was going to say, if I could be that well-spoken, Lord.
Oh my gosh. You are. Stop it.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I do a lot of human buffering. I'm a big like person. It's one of the things I'm actively working on.
I don't notice that like when you're teaching though. I mean,
well, that's good.
I'll let you know if I do, but
sure say fuck a lot when I'm teaching. That's
that
the filler
is something that I don't think we need to work on though. I'm over it.
No, I love that. It's one of my
But Dani,
favorite
that was so
words.
great, and I have seen. I'll have to watch all the rest of those documentaries, but I've definitely seen The Way Down, and for those of you in Nashville, you know why. Crazy, but that is so cute about. And the reason I think she may have told us that is because I had asked. I always ask everybody this, like what they're working on now, what they are excited about, that kind of thing, what they can promote. So I'll definitely link that in the show notes. But that's so cute about Amy Poehler. Oh my gosh, I've never. Oh God, I mean, I've never heard of a better person in the industry.
Seriously. It's like her and Henry Winkler are just
my gosh.
apparently the best human beings. And I
Ugh.
love that that is a constant. I
Yes.
love that anytime people talk about their experience on this show, it's always, it was so fun. It was so collaborative. The number one on the call sheet was incredible. And that's what you want to hear.
Oh my gosh, so true. It's like those people go out of their way to make sure that they're nice. But sometimes I think with Amy, I think it's just innately in her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just who she is. Well, thank you, Dani, so much for bringing that to us. That was so fun. If I have any other questions or if anybody else has any questions that I may have forgotten, please let me know. The next fella that sent in a voice memo is Jeff Holman, who played Joe in Smallest Park, and he was one of the townspeople. He had a lot of deleted scenes, which I talked about in that episode, but he also was in the protest at the small park and was at the town hall discussing the small park and all these things. So he sent in a really lovely one. So here that is.
Hey, Holly, it's Jeff Holman. Thanks for having me on Park Pals. So, the smallest park. How did I get my job on Parks and Recreation? Well, my agent got it for me. It was supposed to be a one-line co-star, and this agent I got was just starting to get me auditions for bigger things. Up till then, I had been auditioning for commercials and for things like Hang Time and USA High, and those are the kinds of things that I had booked before this. So I was really psyched when I booked this awesome show, Parks and Recreation. I went for the audition, and it was just one line, and it was a short line. The short line was, yeah, I have a question. And I just decided to do it super straight, super, just tossing it off. Important, but not that important. And I booked the role. So I was like, woohoo! Now, the first day on set with the cast and crew was terrific. Every single person was awesome. I mean, just super duper nice. I mean, everyone from catering to the wardrobe to the makeup person to, of course, all the other cast members and, the ADs. And I did not meet even someone who had even like a melancholy thing to say. Like, everyone was just like really upbeat. It was great. So it came time to do my scene, and in one of the takes, Amy improv'd with me. And so, I'm no stranger to improv, so I just kept the improv going. And so Amy and I kept doing this improv, and I was asking about the lights for the park and, how bright they were going to be and what kind of lights they were going to be, because I live across the street and I might get a reflection. And she was like, oh, yeah, they're going to be super high power sodium lights and all this. And we were going on for 5 minutes with this improv. And finally, the director yells cut, and everyone in the entire cast and crew just busts up laughing. It was great. And, now, the director was Nicole Holocenter, who, by the way, was nominated for an Academy Award for Enough Said with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and James Gandolfini. She comes over to me and she says, we're going to give you some more lines. And I was like, great, awesome, terrific, And so the next day, they like had an extension of my contract for me to sign. I'm like, it's just like whatever you were being paid, we'll pay you another 2 days. And I was like, great, fantastic, love it. And so I got to say all these additional lines and these additional scenes. And there were actually a couple of scenes that we filmed that got cut out. But on one of the times I saw reruns, they had some of those additional scenes on while they're doing the credits, but then I never caught it again, so I never got a copy of that. But it was fantastic. Getting to work with Amy some more was so terrific. I remember when we were filming the part where we're like, hey, I thought this was going to be an unobtrusive park. I forgot my line one time, and they were totally cool about it. They were like, no problem. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot my line. I'm like, gotta stop. And they're like, no problem at all. So I go back to one, and I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, come on, Jeff, you can do this, man. You're going from a 1-line co-star to like a 9-line, dude. You can do this, man. Come on, get this done. Urgh. And then I realized later I'm on mic. So Nicole's hearing this. Rob Lowe, who was in Video Village, had headphones on. He was hearing this. Like, all the sound guy was hearing this. All these people were hearing me bitch myself out about, come on, man, get it together. So that's kind of embarrassing, but no, everyone was totally cool. No one said anything to me about it or anything. And all the other actors, even the really big actors like Rob Lowe and Adam Scott and, of course, Amy Poehler, they were all super down to earth, not head in the clouds or, snooty or anything like that. They were all really, really nice. That was pretty remarkable. As far as promoting anything, I play a recurring role on the show Yellow Jackets on Showtime. It's the role of Randy Walsh, who is the best friend of Jeff, who's married to Shauna, the lead role played by the completely incredible Melanie Linsky. So I say just watch Yellow Jackets on Showtime and get ready for season 3, because it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it to start filming. So the last thing I want to say about parks, which is really, really cool, is that at the time, like I said in the contract, they just gave me exactly what I got for the first day for like a couple more days. So I thought I was still a co-star. SAG has never stated exactly what a co-star is and what a guest star is. So sometimes a co-star could be 1 line or it could be 10 lines or, so I was going on thinking this was a co-star until like literally 4 years later, I saw the episode again and I saw the credits and it said guest star Jeff Holman. And I was like, oh my God. They bumped me up to guest star? Holy shit. So that's basically at the discretion of the producers, how you get built. And so just as like another like sort of extra awesomeness by them, they bumped me up to guest star for the credit. So that was one of my very first guest star roles. And I didn't even realize that they had done that until like 4 years later. And then I went back to my resume and I'm like, change that to guest star. So, yeah, great experience. Everyone was great. Everyone was super cool. I wish I could be on it again. Too bad the show's over now. But it was definitely an incredible moment in time. And I'm glad it was captured on film forever. Hey, Holly, thanks again for having me on Park Pals, and I hope this was cool. Thanks again.
Yay! Oh my God, that was the best! All that
That's
information
great.
is like blowing my mind.
Yeah. Well, that's what you always hope too, right? You get a co-star and you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
So wait, just to confirm though, so like is the pay is technically could be the same for co-star, guest star? It's just up to the producers whether they credit you or what?
My understanding is that your pay rate at this point in time changes now because I know a lot of Atlanta-based actors who have talked about how what they've done is what should be considered a guest star role, but they will be kept as a co-star, which is a shady thing.
Boo.
So like he was saying, it is up to production. They can kind of decide this stuff, but I do think it factors into your pay at this point. I could be wrong, though, so somebody let me know if that's incorrect.
Yeah, well, the reason I ask is because I would assume that Jeff wouldn't have noticed, like, whether the pay was much higher than the first day. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I wonder, but I'll ask him maybe. Anyway, but yeah, I loved hearing all that information, and I love hearing how excited he was to improv. Oh my gosh. And how that really boosted him. Nicole Holofcener, every time she directs a show, I'm always like, oh my gosh. I have reached out to her, but obviously she's an Academy Award winner and she's busy AF, so I don't know what the hell. But hopefully we can like talk to her at some point in time. But either way, it's like I can't imagine like her coming over to you and being like, hey, you're like so great and we want to like give you more shit to do.
Oh,
amazing.
That's incredible.
And when he was I don't know what he means by the like the reruns because I don't see them on you know like on regular TV or whatever, but like the deleted scene, it was I don't think it was, well maybe it was. The deleted scene was super long that he was in, and it was like she was trying to say sorry for you know creating this like chaos with the small park, so she is like having this binder and making or letting the townspeople choose what kinds of stuff they want to have in the smallest park, and one of them was a light fixture, and I think Jeff did get or like his character did get to choose that. So I don't know if that's one or if it was maybe cut down or something, but it was so fun. And I also love hearing I watched Yellow Jackets. I haven't actually watched it yet. Have you?
Ooh, I watched some of season 1. I need to catch up. It is wild. It is.
Is it more of a thrillery vibe?
It's what?
It's more of a thrillery vibe, right?
Oh, yeah. It's
okay.
I mean, it's kind of Lord of the Flies-y. Yeah, it's dark.
Okay. I'll watch it just for Jeff and no, not Melanie.
Melanie
Melissa?
Linsky. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Obsessed with her. She's incredible. Great. I love her so much.
And that cast in general, Christina Ricci's in it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great
cast. It's really really great.
I'm really happy for Jeff, though, that this was like Parks was one of his first things. And I feel like so many people that we hear from, it's one of their first things. And then you see them just skyrocket or just become a working actor in general, which is so lovely. So I really appreciate it.
His IMDb is incredible.
Right.
He has so much stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Great journeyman actor. Jeff,
oh my gosh,
you go, Jeff.
You go, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I love his voice too. His voice is really fun.
His voice is amazing.
It's such a character.
Okay, his hot mic story.
Oh my
killed
god!
Me. Like, has that happened to you? Because you've done so much theater too, where like it's always on.
It actually, not to my knowledge. I have had stories where castmates have had that happen, but no, it has not happened to me. Knock on wood. It will, I'm sure, at some point. But yeah, oh my god. That is so funny, though. I mean, I'm sure they got a laugh out of it.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous when it happens. I've done it. I had to do a crying scene, and this like musical theater song always makes me cry, and I forgot I was mic'd. And when I got out of the car, the sound guy was like, that was really nice. And I was like, oh, God.
Oh, my
God. Oh, God.
You just never know, you guys. But also, whatever helps you get in there. Like, you're just doing your job at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
But this is also why never talk shit. Just
That's
never
true.
talk shit.
Yeah. I do remember, actually, that's funny. That's jogging a memory. In college, I did do a show where we weren't on stage, like we weren't in a show, but like we had our mics on for like I think tech or something, and like people were definitely talking behind the backstage, and they were definitely talking shit, and everybody could hear it in the booth.
I did that one. I was producing a show, and the guy we hired like lied about his experience, but I was caught on mic being like, "This is absolute dog shit. We are not paying him." Blah 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 blah. And then was like, "Oh, I mean, I stand by what I said, but that is not the way I should have presented it."
Oh my god, hilarious.
It was horrifying.
Oh god, traumatizing. Oh my gosh. Well, Jeff, it worked. Whatever you did, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for sending that in. Okay, next we have Eric Edelstein, who played Chief Trumple. And it was so exciting. He was retiring from the police department. I reached out to him for Dave Returns, but he couldn't get back to me in time, which was totally fine. But he sent me some stuff. Yeah, I don't think that was from the strike. I think he just couldn't get back to me in time for Dave Returns. So let me go ahead and play that. By the way, I love his voice.
All
Chief
of these
Trumple's
people.
voice is great.
I love how everyone sounds on this episode. Oh my gosh.
I know. Me
They're
too.
all wonderful.
Okay, so how did I get the part on Parks? I remember going in after the casting director had made it known that they were sort of looking like a Burt Reynolds vibe. And I think it was more like a Burt Reynolds Saturday Night Live skit. And I went in and read with the casting director, Dorian Frankel, and just sort of kind of did it straight, but with a few things here and there. Apparently they liked it. So when I got onto the set, they tweaked it a little bit. It wasn't like a Burt Reynolds imitation, of course. It was my take on it. But it was this sort of no-nonsense clipped speech patterns. And it was a great deal of fun. I remember the casting session itself was really fun, and so the hilarity ensued from there.
I could totally see that. I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that.
Aw.
And I was thinking, I love his dry answers in every question. Like, what's wrong with you? You getting weird already?
Yeah. It works so well against how just fidgety everyone gets around.
Totally. Oh my God. Okay, here's the second one.
Well, watching myself get made up and in costume, in wardrobe as Chief Trumple, and walking onto the set that first day, taking a look around and seeing all of these great, fun actors there. Amy and Adam, I worked with mainly, and it was a blast. And I also realized that, these people are damn funny. There's no need for me to try to be funny at all. What I'm going to do is play this thing really super straight. I'm not going to suffer any fools. Chief Trumple does not suffer fools. So the perfect foil in there is Adam Scott's character, because Chief just pretty much has had enough of him. And I love that part about it. But I remember the director said, would you mind doing this new scene that we've added for you as well? I go, okay, let me take that away for 10 minutes and study that. But it was, the cast and crew was just a ton of fun. Amy was just terrific, and I couldn't get enough of it. And it was a great experience that day.
That's so exciting to hear so many people are getting more things given to them because of how great they are.
Yeah. Well, I think that speaks to production too, of
Yeah.
just, we got someone really good. Let's utilize them today. I love, one, that flexibility of being able to play like that. And two, just being able to help, again, these journeyman actors really launch and have some meaty stuff, because that's one of the problems with co-stars is it's so exciting to book it, but how is that single line going to really help move you forward,
Yeah, totally.
So that's so
and I
exciting.
think that was so exciting. And I think that was really smart of him to just be like, look, they're already funny. Let's be straight. Because Chief, well, especially for his character, he's like, let's just do this. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
I love
'cause
that.
how
Don't
many
suffer
times-
fools. That's such a good mantra for Chief Trumple.
Oh, yeah. I love that he knew his character, like, backwards and forwards. But how many times have you, like, gone to a comedy show and it's just everyone trying to be the funniest person in the room? And that's why Ron is so successful, I think, on the show, too, is because when, Leslie's being herself and bubbly and excited, he's just like,
Yeah.
this is happening.
Well, and I mean, not to be actory about it, but like that's what makes things so funny too, is that when you play the truth of it or when you play it straight, it ends up being funny actually when you don't try so hard, and which is really hard to do, I feel. But yeah, it's great. Okay, here is the third one.
Well, I did not know I was going to come back as Chief Trumple, but I was so happy that I did.
just going on the set and taking a look around and seeing all of these very eccentric characters and what the actors were doing with them and how I would fit in. It was just a blast. And it made sense to be this sort of no-nonsense small-town sheriff, chief of police guy. And that's just pretty much it. It was simply done in the sense that they could be as funny as they wanted or as weird as possible, and the chief was just hoping that really no one was going to urinate all over everything. I love that line that Amy had. And I've been asked, actually, to do functions and auctions as Chief Trumple because Parks and Rec fans just, really took to the character. A lot of fun. It was sad that he got retired, but, well, that's Hollywood.
Oh my God, that's so fun. I have heard many people, I remember, I think Jay Jackson said this, who played Purd, wanted, like, he would be asked for cameos as Purd kind of thing, which I think is not just a Parks thing. I think a lot of people, like, get asked to do their characters for certain things. So that's fun.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Okay, last one, I think, or maybe second to last one.
Well, I'm on set with Megan Mullally and Nick Offerman, and I'm thinking, where is this going to go? This is crazy fun. I just remember them being really sweet and generous people, actors, and so it was a hoot to watch them. I just, the jail scene where they're going at it through the bars there, and poor Chief Trumple is sitting there watching this unfold, and they've been at it for hours. How upsetting it is for him to have to deal with these people. But I can't say enough about Megan and Nick. What a duo. What chaos happened during that episode. It was a real hoot.
Yeah, I had asked about his other episodes too, so love that. And here's the last one.
What I have coming out in the near future is the title is I Am Gitmo, which is an independent film, and it is it really centered around the what happened at Gitmo, the prison, after 9/11. So that is out at film festivals at the moment, and I'm writing another novel. This one is a Civil War historical fiction adventure for younger readers. First two I did, The Last Ride of Caleb O'Toole, and the book after that was The Secret Mission of William Tuck. So I'm headed to Mississippi at some point to do some research, and that's what's going on these days. The strike is over, so let's all get back to work. Okay, bye.
Oh my God, that is so great!
I love everyone. Oh my gosh.
How
everyone in this
wrong of
episode
him.
is so perfect.
So perfect. Oh my gosh, I could see like Ron's kids in the future reading that book on the show or something.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'll post all of that in the show notes and, look at my budget and hopefully buy that for you.
I was
for myself.
Say, we should read that.
Yeah, I love learning about history, like on the History Channel. So if it's for kids, you guys, like you've seen, I have been on the NASA website multiple times for this show for whatever the fuck reason, because it's crazy.
Which I love.
Oh my God. And the kids thing that they have, like, it's broken down into like digestible information. There's pictures. It's great.
That's what I used to do.
Oh my God. I know.
I got to do their like youth outreach where we would do like a play at Space Center Houston, and we'd explain how like time travel theoretically could work because if you have enough pressure on mass,
oh my God.
It was super fun. But yeah, I want to read that. 2024 goals, read more. And I would love to read that book because I went to Texas schools, so I learned a lot of Texas history. I did not learn a lot of any other history.
Here we go. Yep, that's a thing. Oh my God. That was great. Were you in the NASA shows too, or were you just like coordinating?
Oh yeah, I was part of the play. I was like the plucky little assistant to the scientist.
Love that.
Yeah. My friend Tim was an astronaut who accidentally ended up, and he had to put on a real spacesuit every day, 6 times a day.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. At least it wasn't outside. It wasn't outside, right?
No, it wasn't outside. We were in the air conditioning.
Okay, thank God. But still, that's a lot. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Eric, so much. That was so great. I love hearing all these wonderful voice memos. Oh my gosh. And I can't wait to, support everybody. Okay,
perfect casting.
You said what?
What perfect casting, just across the board.
Oh my gosh. Perfect. Dorian Frankel, man, she knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the last one is Kelly Washington, who played Leslie's mentee in Model UN. Allison Clifford is her name, who comes back for the prom, the Pacitis moment. Yeah, so she sent quite a few, so let's just go through them here and see, what's going on.
So for the audition process, it was one of my first auditions that I ever had moving to Los Angeles, and it was one of my favorite shows. So I remember I was so excited and nervous, and I was on my way, and I had only been there for about 2 months, so I didn't really know the city very well. And so I remember driving and being super late because I definitely took the wrong way to get there, and I called my manager like crying, freaking out. So I ended up making it there, and because I was so flustered, I would actually say it was one of my worst auditions because I was just like, and the casting director was so sweet and patient. She's like, just breathe, like, let's do this together. So I had it memorized, but I remember having to like look down at the page some, and she just made me really comfortable to have fun with it. And I left feeling much better, but still so anxious because I did love the show so much.
Oh, I totally get that. And thank you for doing this when you're sick. I know you've been going through a lot. I can hear it in your voice a little bit, unless that's something else. But I think you are just getting over strep. So I'm so sorry. And I love these. Oh my gosh, that is so kind of like relatable. Like you're anxious and your adrenaline's going crazy. You're just like, where am I? You know what I mean?
What actor hasn't gotten lost in Los Angeles? Like, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, especially if you tried to use Waze, where it would take you on, like, all the side streets, and you'd just be like, I don't know where I am. Where is Formosa?
Oh, my God. Or Waze will make you, like, cross over 4 lanes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, not doing that.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, okay, here's the next one.
And if I recall correctly, the sides were for the first scene when the name being Cassidy at the time / France sees Leslie and is like, oh, are you Leslie? No, what am I talking about? Of course you are. And I remember I wore a blue and red plaid shirt, and I wore glasses. I have fake glasses that I had asked for from my grandparents for Christmas because I didn't need glasses, but I thought glasses were so cool. So I remember I did wear those, and I read it with the casting director.
Yay! Glasses are cool. Just saying.
Facts.
And it worked for that character, that's for sure. So that's great. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Love that.
Getting the call that I had booked it was probably one of the greatest moments of my life. It was my start to Los Angeles. It was one of my favorite shows, and I love doing comedy. And so I was on cloud 9. And the night before, I was discovering my food allergies, and I had a really bad allergic reaction to yellow mustard, and my face blew up, my lips and my tongue. And so I ended up having to like deal with that. Did not go to bed till 3 a.m. and had to be on set at like 6. So I was exhausted, but the adrenaline was pumping, and I was very excited. We filmed at a school. It was a high school somewhere in the Los Angeles region. And I show up and I go to hair and makeup, and Amy Poehler was sitting right there, doing all the skin prep with the under eye things. And she just looks at me and she's like, hi, I'm Amy. And I'm like, hi, I'm Kelly. And she immediately just made me feel so comfortable and ready for the day that all of the nerves, all of my tired just went away. Like I felt so prepared. And just excited. And I loved that. One of the things that I like to brag about that cast is that they always say that shows kind of go off of who's number 1 on the call sheet. And Amy made sure that everyone was having fun. Everybody on set would talk to me, ask about who I am, where I'm from, my life. Like no one acted like they were better than you. And it just made it one of the best TV shows I've ever been on.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. Amy making you feel better just sounds like a dream. So good.
We filmed at this high school for about a week, and it was so much fun when you're on set getting to act. I didn't get to improv as much during the Model UN episode, but it was cool, like, experiencing my stuff. Also, in following the show, getting to see where the story was going with Ben and Leslie, and then getting to see the moments of them improving or them, doing their lines. That was really cool. The decapitated head moment, it was truly very hard not to laugh. But it's like your brain just turns on and you're like, I'm in actor mode. I can be serious and be a part of this. And during the moment with the podium, they had gotten me an apple box, but I like to say I have a height deficiency. I'm not very tall. And so they thought it was funnier while they were setting up not to put me on an apple box and to just keep me very short next to Ben.
I think that's funnier too.
That
Great
is
choice.
funnier. Yeah. Especially since he's being so immature.
Totally. Okay.
Jorma directed the episode, and a lot of times in television, you have the same directors who do a lot of episodes. So, like Ken did the second episode, and but I feel like this was like one of Jorma's like first TV directing things, and he's just friends with everyone. He's in Lonely Island, and he was really fun. And then later he ended up directing me in a Dr. Pepper commercial, and it was really cool to see how the years gone by and directing styles, but he made it really fun and allowed people to play a lot, which I think is one of the great parts about Parks and Rec, is that they, if the scene feels a little stale for a moment, you have such amazing comedic actors that, all right, let's shake it up. Let's do a fun run. You do a take where you just kind of improv, have fun with it. And they might not use anything from it, but it allows the actors to get refreshed.
That's true. That's a good point, actually. I never thought of it that way. I always think of it like, let's just see what other things we can get. But that really just loosens the attitude, the environment.
Yeah,
It's so
for
cool.
sure.
And like to have that Dr. Pepper commercial link is funny.
Yes, I love it.
I know.
Another thing that I loved, which was my experience every time that I was on set with Parks and Rec, and was that Amy would often lead like a dance, like after lunch, everyone would just kind of have a quick dance party to pump up their energy and get excited. And so that made me really happy.
I have heard that before. I can't remember who else said that, but somebody else told me that too. And I was like, this is so stupid. This isn't real life. Are you kidding? Amy's not real. Like, what? She's an angel.
What? She is the angel land mermaid.
Ugh, she is. Okay.
Something that I think was unique about the Model UN episode that doesn't always happen with television is that they weren't finished building the set. So in between the school and the city council room stuff, which then obviously was a major set piece in a lot of the episodes in the future, they hadn't finished building it. So it was about a month in between me filming the school stuff and the city council stuff, which was really fun because then getting to go to the set and experience what I'd been seeing on television was super exciting. And at that point, I had gotten to know the cast and the crew more and became very close with some of the crew members. So it made it that going back and seeing everybody was very exciting. And I felt even more comfortable being there.
Yeah, that's great.
I personally had never done Model UN before, so that was fun. One of the girls that was there had done it a lot and was very active in it when she was in high school. So she kind of was telling us about her experience. And I don't think her experience was like the Parks and Rec episode, but it did sound fun.
I would, I would hope it's not like the
Yeah,
Parks
I was going to
episode.
say, I hope no one at your high school screamed for decapitation.
And as I'm looking back, and I could literally talk probably for 5 hours about everything. But I think one of my favorite parts was that this is an episode that means a lot to a lot of people. And it was nominated for an Emmy. And it was just such a cool experience to be my first guest star / first TV experience / just moving to LA. And I feel like the luckiest girl in the world that I got to start with this show, a show that means so much to myself, to so many people. And it set the bar really, really high because of how amazing it was.
How can any other set compare after this? After a
Honestly-
dance party with Amy Poehler.
Yeah, it's like, we'll just pack it up. We're done.
Yeah.
Thank you again for letting me get to share some of my Parks and Rec Model UN stories. I love getting to talk about it because, again, it was just so special. If you would like to follow me on social media, on Instagram at Washington Kelly, and on TikTok, it's Kelly Washington. I love to share all of my acting stuff, and I love Disney. So I have a Disney podcast actually called Slice of Disney, which you can also find on social media, and where I get to geek out about a bunch of Disney facts. Thank you again so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, if you follow her on Instagram, she goes to Disney a lot and posts about it and has all these amazing things on her social media. So I'll definitely tag her.
Oh, cute.
And then last one.
Thank you all again. I'm so sorry this took forever. My voice is like finally mostly back, but it was very frustrating. It's been a journey. So thank you again. I can't wait to listen to the show. I checked out some episodes in the beginning, so I'm excited to go through and relive parks with you guys. I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Yay! Thank you so much, Kelly, for doing that. I'm really glad, and I'm glad that I reached back out and that I'm always like, this is the last time I'll reach out, because I like reach out at, if I don't hear, or if they're like, can you circle back? And I'm always like, yes, I can. So anyways, oh my gosh, you guys, that was insane. We got so many amazing things, so much information. Thank you so much to everybody that did that. Again, that was Dani Fish, Jeff Holman, Eric Edelstein, and Kelly Washington. I will post all their information in the show notes. Please follow them. Thank you so much. Not sorry, but that took a long time, so we'll see how we do. But now we're finally on Sweet 16. Oh my God. It's so good. Season 4, episode 16. This was written by Norm Hiscock, which, side note, we did interview him, so check that out. He's doing a King of the Hill remake. Did you know that?
No.
He was involved with Greg Daniels in the original. Greg Daniels and him are like very close working partners, Kids in the Hall, all that stuff. I believe it's coming to Hulu. But yeah, if you're new here, Greg Daniels created The Office and is in everything. But yeah, he also, I will preface this episode by saying that I did listen to the Parks and Recollection episode that Jim O'Hare and Greg Levine, who was a writer on the show, have. And Norm was on their podcast. And I did email him and I was like, I really have nothing else to ask you because I listened to this episode, but I just want to say thanks. And he was so sweet and sent me like the longest email and like still having information. And honestly, like I'll read some of it. Basically, I won't read all of it, but basically he said, other than the location, it's rare that we would get all the cast together in one room. Normally, we would write 3 storylines for each episode, like involving Leslie, a B story, and then a C story. And then he said the good thing about the season 4 Leslie campaign stories was that it allowed for the whole cast to be together in certain scenes, which is tricky to write for because the whole cast is there. So you want to make sure there's something for everyone to do and make sure you further the individual stories. And then he also said that the group scenes weren't the best for improvising because there's just so many people and it works best when there's 2 or 3 people in a scene because it can get kind of off track if there's like 6 people that are throwing shit out there. But I'm just so grateful that he sent me that email. I was so like thinking he was going to be like, oh, glad you listened, bye. And he sent some more information. So I was really happy about that. That's so nice.
That's awesome.
Norm's the best. And then obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but this was directed by Mike Schur. So we just have got a dream team. And if you're new here, do I need to tell you who Mike Schur is? Schurverse, hello? He created the show. The end. Okay. This is where Maddie would put in her summary. So I'll play that now.
Hello there. I am ready to give you guys a summary for Sweet 16, which is one of my favorite episodes. So, Leslie is taking on too much with her parks job, working on her campaign, and still trying to be the most wonderful friend ever. So Ron spends this episode trying to convince Leslie to go part-time as his deputy. Leslie also tries to get the team together to plan a surprise Sweet 16 party for Jerry with a lot of snafus. Meanwhile, April gets drunk, having to deal with the dysfunction of Anne and Tom's relationship. I just wanted to add a couple thoughts as well. Cannot stand Anne and Tom together, still standing by that pretty hard. Does not make sense to me. but that's okay. And I love that it shows how their relationship is impacting April. I think that that's a really strong sentiment to show that they're not meant to be together, that they're so toxic to the people around them. I very much relate with Leslie in this episode, more so than Anne, like I typically do, because I feel like, Holly, you can very much attest to this in your life as well. But I have a hard time letting go of doing things and taking stuff off my plate because I feel like I'm half-assing my life if I don't continue doing everything I was doing before. And this past year has been a really big push for me to realize that it's not a downfall to have to take things off your plate, and that there is a strength to acknowledging what you can do and what you can't do and what you have to let go of, which I think is really important here. So I love that. One of my favorite lines in this episode, I absolutely love it just because of Amy Poehler's delivery is just amazing, is when she goes to get her sign fixed because they put the JPEG file name on the sign instead of the actual picture. And so my favorite line from her is the delivery and everything. It's when she says, "Yes, Walter, it does say that. You're right. But using basic logic and human intelligence, one can surmise that this is a link to an image." So I absolutely love that. I have a lot of times in my life where I wish I could use that tone with people and actually say things like that and human intelligence and logic. But yeah, so that's one of my favorites. I love that she's still trying to do this wonderful thing for Jerry, and that the team is totally on board with her. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. I hope you guys have the best time recording this episode and that everybody enjoys listening. I hope to be back recording with Holly soon.
Thank you so much, Maddie, for that. So fun. Oh my God. Okay. So I wanted to also say, in Parks and Recollection, I feel like I'm doing like a book report and I have to like do a bibliography of where I got all my notes, but
Cite your sources.
Cite my sources. Jim O'Hare's mom, he said this in the episode, was actually dying during this episode. She was very ill, so sad. And he said in many ways the episode was a savior because it kept his brain somewhere else and like happy. And he was also saying that during the breaks, like one of the breaks where Leslie falls asleep on his shoulder, Amy asked questions and was really talking to him and like was super great, and he got choked up on the episode like talking about it, of how great Amy was at like just being really kind and generous with her time as far as like asking how things were. And it was just like really wonderful to hear that camaraderie, and you wouldn't have known it. He was such a pro, and I just really, rest in peace to his mom.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know, so crazy. Well, this cold open starts with Anne wanting to talk to Leslie about her campaign, but Leslie wants to follow the rules and not discuss the campaign in City Hall. You beautiful rule-breaking moth. Love that.
Which is a nice shift for Leslie.
Mm-hmm. You mean like her wanting to break
not break the rules? We saw her like trying to meet her campaign people constantly.
Yes!
Before.
I wrote that in my notes too. I was like, it is very interesting to see that because she absolutely was not sticking to this rule before.
No.
Yeah, she was actually having campaign meetings in City Hall, which we did talk about during that time. We were like, is that legal? I don't know. I think it is, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyhow, it is really funny because they walk through this like thing that looks kind of like a DMV station that we had never seen before, like as they're walking outside. And I was like, this is interesting. Like, I wonder what this new location is. I'm sure it's inside whatever set they had, but I thought that was really like a cool, nice touch to show us a part that we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I love that when Andy asks her, she is signing the paper on the clipboard on his back. Typically, the back is supposed to be the clipboard function.
Yeah.
I thought that was so freaking... And he's like bent all the way over. He's not just like leaning over.
Just fully committing.
Something that I found too is that he says, "I need your Herbie Hancock on this." And apparently that's a line from Tommy Boy, which Rob Lowe was in.
Oh.
Wild.
Well, yeah, he was. I didn't know that was a quote from it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
always
always just
think
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, totally. Apparently that's like in the scene where it's some test or something. I can't remember what it is. I've seen that movie, but it's been a minute. So yeah, I thought that was a fun little callback. Also, why is Andy wearing these sunglasses? I think that's really so like, what are you, is he like trying to be FBI agent kind of vibes? Or is
That
he
was
just...
my thought of like he's doing his Secret Service Andy.
Oh my God. So good. I did pause it, as I usually do on any of the documents that they show, and it is a budget ordinance to move funds around. And I mean, I couldn't really understand what exact funds they were wanting to move around. However, in the last couple of episodes, I will be honest, when I paused on stuff, they were kind of just winging it, which again, I have no problem with because it's literally a millisecond that it's on there, but I always think it's interesting. This looked real. This looked like a real legal paper with lots of legalese terms. So whatever they did, or whoever did that, great job.
Well done, props.
Yeah, love it. And then April is April and locks them out because it's annoying because she keeps trying to go back and forth between April and and Ben. And honestly, like Leslie even says this too. When I was watching, I was like, that is fucking annoying. But then Leslie's even like, like it's, it's good exercise, but it's a pain in the ass. Oh my God, though, Ron is talking to Leslie about taking a leave of absence because her campaign is taking over her life. I can't get over that he says that she's working 50 hours a week at Parks and 50 hours a week for the campaign. What? She doesn't sleep.
No.
Not real.
No.
And I love this line, and she's volunteering for Wheels for Meals on Wheels. Repairing vans for Meals on Wheels. So smart. Oh my God. But yeah, this next part though, when she forgets to do the maintenance report, whoa, big deal for Leslie.
Very not Leslie.
She does it every week, and she forgot. What's even bigger of a deal to me is that Ron is noticing and saying, hey, you forgot something, and actually having a conversation with her as opposed to being like, whatever, like, who cares?
Well, I mean, that's their whole dynamic, though, is that Ron gets to do nothing because Leslie does everything. Yeah,
that's true. Oh my God.
So because you're a high achiever, when you are the one who goes, I'm going to step back from the group project, it's everyone else who's like, but
what do we do now? Yeah, that's a good point. Oh my God, though, obviously I knew this because I've seen this episode, but when I watched it after having analyzed it, I was like, Leslie didn't do a maintenance report? What? Wow. But yes, I did notice that she was wearing a different shirt underneath the red cardigan. And even, again, like I said, even though I've seen this before, I was like, oh, isn't that the same cardigan but different shirt? So I love that they talk about that and that she has a lollipop stuck to her cardigan because she's been wearing it for a million years in a row. Oh, it's called lollipopping. Oh my God. I mean, honestly, she really is trying to stick with this. Like, she is very much like, whatever, like, I was supposed to do this.
Yeah, no one does crashing and burning like Leslie Knope.
Great line, great call, so true. She is a crash and burn type of gal when she can't.
It's just I can do it till I'm dead.
Literally. Oh my God, it's so true. Oh my God, yeah. So she won't take a sabbatical. And so we kind of have just left it, and Ron just stares after her, which you're like, that's not going to last. You'll hear Phoebe, because I didn't close my door because I was like, whatever. Anyway, and I'm not on anyone else's podcast, so I don't feel like I'm ruining theirs. I was
genuinely so upset on our podcast because that's one of the parts where Riverside got super gobbledygook.
Oh.
And I was like, this is so funny to me, but I can't include it because all of us sound like monsters.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Well, I'm glad that we recorded it, or that I recorded it, or whatever. Oh my God. You guys listen to Two Filthy Casuals to figure out what we're talking about, which is Kris's podcast.
Well, it got cut. I cut it.
Oh, you cut it?
Because me and Amy are making monster noises at you, being like, and then like your audio is, oh my God. So it sounds like you're scared of us instead of Phoebe.
That is hilarious.
So it's like, well, we got to get rid of this for now.
Never mind. It'll happen again. Don't you worry. But still listen to the podcast. It's great.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Okay, the next scene, Tom gives Anne a hat that says Tommy's girl. Oh my God. And his just says Tommy. That's a huge box for that hat, by the way. I was like, wait, what's in that again? And because it's so massive.
It's so Tom.
It's so
to just
Tom.
like Russian doll your gift like that.
No. Oh, it's true, though. And I love Anne's point of like, why not Anne's man? Like, why is it just I'm your property kind of vibe? And why does his say, I wrote, why does his say Tom and not Tommy? Because if it's Tommy's girl, shouldn't he be Tommy? It just says Tom, which again just shows how much he doesn't think this through. It's just like, whatever the fuck, I don't care.
Yeah.
But this is also where I was like, which we've talked about so many times before, but I'm just like, okay, so this is where we're not entertaining this idea anymore, right? Like the comedy is played, we're done, right? Like we're good. But they just keep pressing it, and I'm like, oh Lord.
It is one of those episodes of just, wait, this is still happening?
Yeah. And Norm did
why?
say, for why? Exactly. Norm did say in Parks and Recollection that they did talk about this. They said they really did just do this for comedy. Like, no one thought it was serious. Like, no one thought that they would maybe, like, get together in the end or whatever. And it was a discussion for a long time, but it was just more of a transitional moment for Anne to, like, you know, become independent kind of thing. But Jerry or Jim O'Hare was talking about, like, he doesn't like this at all. And he was like, I just can't get over the fact that they think that potentially, or you have to think as an audience member, did Anne and Tom sleep together? That's disgusting. I don't want to think about it. I don't. And I was like, I didn't go there because I know how, like, surfacey this is, but that's so true.
I went there because she talks about his bedding.
Yeah, no, totally.
Like, she has access to his home.
Yeah, later on, I do think about that's true.
They
and I'm
absolutely slept together.
No, ew, no.
They did. Holly.
I'm saying no as in I hate it, not no, it didn't happen.
I was like, no. He was like, hey, boo-boo. Good morning.
I did not want to think about him in bed. Except for with Lucy. I'm sure him and Lucy have cute moments.
Yeah.
But Anne and... Anyhow. Anyway, they did make a good point, though, that in this relationship, we get to see that Anne is the powerful one. She's not pining after Kris. She's not wearing a cowboy outfit to fit in with her new cowboy boyfriend. Like, it is kind of interesting to see that side of her, which I understand.
Very true.
But we did that in 2 episodes. We don't need it in 3, 4, 5. Anyhow, now Tom is talking to April about how Anne didn't like these gifts because technically she set them up. And she's right. Like, why would they talk to her about it? Like, that's totally stupid on their end. Like, April does not care about your guys' relationship.
No.
What you doing? I like that the book that she's reading had no name on the front, but apparently it says that it's Pride and Prejudice. So I guess that, at least that's what I found online. I think it was like on a trivia fact on IMDb or something like this. But
okay.
I'll have to look that up. I'm sure Pride and Prejudice has so many different covers. And I could totally see April like kind of hiding the fact that she's reading that maybe.
She took the actual cover off and was like, I don't want anyone to know.
Exactly. Yeah, so now Andy is picking up Champion from Kris because Andy and April went away and Kris watched Champion. And, you know, Kris did what Kris always does and went all in. We went to PetSmart. I do wonder if there was like some sort of sponsorship moment happening with PetSmart because there's so many bags behind him. And then he went to a dog training course in German for some reason and really took care of Champion's health. And I love when Andy's like, did his leg grow back? And so serious. He's like, no. Okay, so Kris is talking about this German dog course thing, and I did not know. I feel like I should know, but again, history, whatever. But Kris says, Ich bin ein 3-legged dog. Mm-hmm. And I looked it up, and I really should have known this, but this was from a JFK speech.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're smarter than me. You knew.
No. Well, okay. When you have family from Boston, also though, like JFK, like our first like Bostonian Catholic president. Ooh, your family like has pictures of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Rob Lowe played
yes.
John F. Kennedy. Yeah.
Yes, I wrote
this
that
is a nice
too.
callback to that.
In
Killing
Killing Kennedy.
Yeah.
Is the name. So that's
he does a great job.
I should watch it. I'll take a look.
Rob Lowe is a fabulous actor who I
is.
think because of his kind of 80s Rat Pack adjacent rise to fame and pretty face is often undermined.
Mm-hmm.
And also, some of his behavior in the past. But, he was a crazy 80s kid. But he's a really good actor. He's really, really good at what he does.
Yeah. And he is in so many things. I mean, yeah. If it wasn't for him, so many people say that Parks might not have survived because people were watching it for Rob Lowe. So
yeah,
which I think he was like the equivalent, I think, of Alec Baldwin to 30 Rock, which like the show was so good, but like people for whatever reason weren't tuning in, and then they needed an anchor. So I get that.
Yep.
That's awesome. But for those of you who were like me and did not know, I did a tiny, tiny, tiny deep dive. But in June of 1963 was JFK's speech where he says Ich Bin Ein Berliner during the Cold War as an anti-communist speech. And it honestly has a bunch of different translations, but it really comes down to I'm from Berlin, I stand with you kind of thing. We're all from Berlin today, kind of like I'm standing with you today kind of vibes. However, I don't know if you've heard this. I looked it up and there were quite a few headlines. In some circles, it was laughed at because Berliner, however you pronounce that, is also an idiom for a jelly donut in Germany. And the mythology that sprung from this is astonishing. Because it wasn't even discovered until after he died. They thought maybe he said the wrong thing. They were like researching his speech. He didn't mean to say it, whatever, because he added that in. Like apparently he really wanted to speak in this speech. He wanted to add more to democracy, and he didn't find what his speechwriters wrote like quite in tune with what he wanted to really speak on. So he added the Ich Bin Ein Berliner without the speechwriters. That was all him. And so that's why people were like, did he mean to say that? Again, it was after he died, so like I think they got it during the time. But he returned to the statement to end the speech by saying, all free men, wherever they may live, are citizens of Berlin. And therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words Ich Bin ein Berliner. But no, it was not a jelly donut thing, but apparently that is a word for it.
Dang. Well, and again, with that dialect, too.
That's true, too. That's true.
Trying to speak German when you have a Massachusetts accent. Oof.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. However, I'm not sure how that relates to Kris necessarily. Like, Ich bin ein three-legged dog. Does he stand with all three-legged dogs? Or did the German person say that? Like, I stand with you, three-legged dog. I'm with you.
I hope it was that. I hope it was just this like motivational, like, I see you, I'm with you, let's go.
We're gonna do it. I don't think that's what it was, but I am going to believe in my heart that that's what it was. I think it was just giving like, possibility to the German part of it.
That's the headcanon now.
Yes, it is. Anyhow, so glad I looked that up. That's really interesting and cool about JFK. But let's see. I know this is kind of like Andy's vibe, but he's not really necessarily a normal human, but I feel like he just leaves. He's like, okay, thanks, bye. He's not really like, oh, wow, you didn't have to do all that. Like, should I pay you something? Like, what? And I mean, technically, like I said, it wasn't his choice Andy didn't say, go take him to get all his shots and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was me, I'd be like, oh my God, like, well, how much do I owe you? Or what?
True. Know? But you also don't eat off of Frisbees.
That's true.
So.
Fair.
Different echelon.
Yeah. Very Andy to be like, okay, bye. Jerry comes in now wearing this crazy, awful shirt. It really looks like a metro map, but you can't quite. To me, it did anyway. But it's accurate. Very vague. You can't really see anything on it, or like clearly see what it is. It's just a bunch of shapes and stuff. But to me, it looked like a metro map. What's that?
I said that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's a good assessment.
Mm-hmm. Tom is wearing the Tommy's girl hat and not Tommy. And then this is where we find out that Leslie forgot Jerry's birthday because he's wearing this shirt because it was a birthday gift. I love that it's on Leap Day. I don't know who the heck came up with that idea. It is so brilliant to put that in the calendar as the thing that's missed. And of course, Jerry would be born on that day. Oh my God.
Well, and this year is a leap year.
I was going to say that. I wrote that. 2024 is a leap year, you guys. So his birthday is this Amazing.
Good on you, Jerry.
Good job, Jerry. I got so excited when I read that. Okay, I did do a tiny research moment, but not really, into leap years. And to be frank, I still don't really understand it still, but it has to do with the solar system and how our planets move around Earth. Again, I found a NASA website, you guys. I just did not know that Park Pals would lead me to NASA so much. But I found this website, at, same one that when I was looking at lasers. And same department, I think. It may be for children, but I don't care. It's wonderful. Anyway, so it takes approximately 365.25 or 365.2422 to be exact days for Earth to orbit the sun, which is a solar year. So it's not just 365 days in a year. It's extra. And we usually round the days in a calendar year to 365, but to make up for that missing partial day, we add a day to our calendar approximately every 4 years. And that is why there is a leap year.
Dun, dun, dun.
Crazy, the more you know. And again, I still don't really understand the need for it because it sounds like it's to measure how the Earth and Sun correlate. Like it said if we didn't have leap years and you had all that extra time, July might actually be in the colder winter months. And I was like, well, why can't that happen? I don't care. But I think it's just to measure time and weather, like just to measure time in general. Like when they made up the calendar, like how do we make sure like this is what happened this time, how many months happened until like previously, that kind of thing, which is way above my pay grade. But it did say that Mars also has leap years. So yeah, other planets do have leap years. I thought that was really fascinating. I don't have any other information because it's again above my pay grade, but I thought that was interesting. We have something in common with Mars.
Hey, there we go.
So I'm gonna post this link, both links actually, to if you would like to nerd out with me, and I'll post them again. But
Sweet.
I thought that was interesting because I never knew why there were leap years, but it's really just to measure time and to make sure that we're on the same structure each time. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. I love that they go to KKJ's Cheesecake Facility and his wife meets up with her friends and he goes to bed early as his birthday thing. And somehow that makes it better. Like, it's perfect. Oh, cotton candy cheesecake sounds good.
That's true. I would eat that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. It's so lovely. Also, I wrote a note in here. It's so dumb, but I don't think it really goes now or goes to like the time we're in now because we don't know this yet. But I feel like Christy Brinkley would never buy that shirt for him.
No. No.
Not just Christy Brinkley, but like the character of Jerry's wife is like a classy ass lady. I don't think that she would buy that.
Gail is very put together.
Yeah. But
she's a lovely, lovely human.
But they set her up to be like, she doesn't know what she's doing as far as like fashion or how to put yourself together. It's more of just like, this is what Jerry would wear and I love him, so I'll just buy him.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Yeah, so Leslie feels bad because she forgot the birthday. And Ron takes this as an opportunity to rub it in her face that things are falling through the cracks. But also like, I don't know. Again, this goes to the group project thing. I'm like, couldn't someone else have remembered or couldn't this have been on like some sort of like work calendar situation reminded her? Like no one keeps track of it.
Yeah.
I get that Leslie does it because it's a big deal for her, but like seriously?
Like it feels like the kind of job an assistant should do. Like April.
Wouldn't you know?
But obviously.
Oh my God, that's true. That's true. Yeah, she doesn't have anyone else to do it for her, I guess. But she tells Jerry that she has a task for him, and I just love that because it's like fecal contamination or whatever. I just love her line of like, our water has poop in it. Like, what are you still doing here? Because he wants to get gloves and all this stuff, and she's like, no!
There's no time!
Again, this is the crash and burning panic moment. Much like when she says that he doesn't have time to get clothes on after the tub.
Yeah.
Just come naked. What are you talking about? I had a question for you. Do you really think that there is poop in the water, or do you think that this is an excuse, or do you think it's killing two birds with one stone?
I was going to say, yes. I think because it's Pawnee, there's definitely poop in the water. But I also don't think anyone's actually doing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, again, this is the same town where they had to tell them to stop, like, deep-throating water faucets. I'm not too confident in the Pawneeans' ability to keep their hygiene in check.
Good call. Great answer. A+. Oh my God. I was like, is she just saying that to get him out of the way? But no, you're right. It's just both things are true at the same time.
That's my theory, at least.
Yep. Headcanon. There it is. Okay. Yeah. So he's turning 64, and they divide that by 4, and it's 16. So they're going to have a sweet 16 party because leap years are only every 4 years. At first, I was like, why is she dividing it by 4? That's stupid. I'm like, Leslie, why? Are you just trying to get to 16?
Oh my God.
Also, one of my mom's friends does have a birthday on a leap year. So I thought it was like, this is a unicorn thing, but no, that is a real thing. Isn't that wild?
That's amazing.
Obviously, it's going to be real. People have to be born on that day. So, yeah.
Wild.
Side note, Jim O'Heir was only 49, almost like going on 50 while this was airing. So he was definitely not 64.
I read that. And then Christy Brinkley is almost a decade older than him, I believe.
Oh my God.
Which,
Amazing.
like, however Christy Brinkley is aging, could we all get that secret formula?
I think her, Amy Poehler, and Heidi Klum are just all
Yes.
actual angels sent from above to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anointed. Oh my God.
Timeless beauties. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Aging so gracefully and so slowly.
Yes. And on the inside. Maybe that's what's important too. Maybe they're nice
Probably.
on the inside. I hope so.
Yeah.
I know Heidi Klum is. I don't know Christy Brinkley's life, so we'll see. Anyhow, I love this line too. The usual cake and pop, fish and pop, cake and fish. It's so good. What a lovely line. Oh, or a little like runner situation. Fish and pop, man. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Fish and cake.
There's the one.
That'll
That's the
be our
one to do.
birthday. Oh my God. So Leslie asked Donna if they can use her lake house, and she's like, yeah, but how did she know about this actually? Like, did she look in Donna's like records or some shit, or did she just overhear her like when Donna had a slip up? How did she know?
Because, yeah, Meagle is so good at keeping things close to the vest.
Yes. Yes. And I love, we've talked about this before, how I don't think that Donna gets enough credit, like, anytime. Oh, we're getting a Donna episode this time. Love it. We're not big on hospitality. The Meagles are a cold people. I love it.
Oh, my God.
And that place is spectacular. Spectacular. It looks so lovely. The lake out front. I did look up where this was. I don't know if this address is actually correct, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway, and you guys can tell me. It's 2140 East Lakeshore Drive. This is inside of a gated Malibu Lake Mountain Club community in Agoura Hills in California.
Oh, nice.
However, it is spelled like Malibu, Malibou, not Malibu the beach. It's like probably 20 minutes or so from Malibu the beach. But I don't know why it's spelled that way. There is a Lake Malibu, which is where this community is centered around. But then like on the map, if you zoom in, it's like Malibu's right here up front. And then right below is Malibu, like with the U lake as well. So like, I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know what the geography is, but it is technically the Malibu Lake Mountain Club community. So
is one just like the knockoff purse of Malibu, where it's like when you get a Louis Vuitton, but it's all W's, and you're like,
Right.
I don't think this is right.
If you can't afford the beach, here's the lake. That's probably also expensive, but not quite.
Yeah.
But yeah, Agoura Hills, I remember like driving through there a few times, but you know, it's far away. So from LA anyway, from LA proper. So it's not going to be close, but I would imagine that's where people in LA might actually have community or lake houses if they have that money, you know? Because I know some people, like if you're already in LA, maybe they don't want a beach house. It's like a lake house vibe, but for me, it's like the beach would be better, but whatever. Anyways, also on Google Maps, it's really interesting. I'll have to take a screenshot of it. On Google Maps, I just like kind of zoomed into where the area was, and they have, it's where MASH was filmed in that area because it's very mountainous, and they have like a MASH recreation center where you can like It's like an outdoor kind of museum vibe. I don't think it's large or anything. I think it's more of like, here's a sign and some other like information in this little area. But it really looks like that's where it was filmed, because if you look at the street view, it's very mountainous, like kind of deserty terrain looking thing. So cool.
That is very cool. Oh, I will have to check that out.
Yeah. It's in the Santa Monica Mountains, that part.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's right around that area. So cool.
Sweet.
So Donna has these rules, and I get it. I paused on the first couple of rules, and I'm on board. I mean, no children on the premises. Check. Great.
Same with my house.
Listen, you get to set that. No hunting? Sure. I don't want that. Hello? Keep windows closed? Okay, we're pushing it, but fine. Do not touch the stereo. Use the remote. It's like it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. More unnecessary. It also says don't use chargers.
Or the kitchen appliances.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one that I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Okay. What do we do? And that's so funny because that's just maybe I don't know. I guess it just depends on if you're a guest or not. Well, you will be a guest, but if you're a guest with like a nice meagle maybe who's going to like cook for you that can use the kitchen appliances, but you can't.
Yeah. And also, what is an appliance to the meagles? Like, can I not use your fridge?
Right. Good call.
How much of this am I allowed to not touch is all I could think when I was looking at those rules.
Right. Oh my God, that's so funny. Apparently there were actual rules in the actual home. Jim O'Hare got yelled at by the owner because there was a specific chair that you weren't supposed to sit in, but it wasn't marked and he sat on it, and the owner was there, which is interesting because typically, when you rent out these spaces for location shoots, the owner is not there. You're paid a handsome sum usually, and you just like go away for a little bit. But the owner was actually there, and it really freaked him out. He's like, oops. And I was like, what an interesting fun fact. I don't know which chair it was or if it's in the scene, but fun fact also, you may have noticed that in the exterior shot, Nick Offerman, aka Ron, is paddling in the canoe across the scene. That is him. So super fun. I do wish we could use the hot tub. That sucks. If I'm staying at a guest house, I'd like to be in the hot tub, but okay, fine. It's like, what's the point of coming here? I guess I could say, I could see the nice lake. Anyways.
Yeah.
This is our first mention of Genuine being related to Donna.
Oh, yeah.
The best. Anne doesn't know who Genuine is. Saying his name over and over isn't going to help me. I love that line. It's true. Because I think I've been on both ends of that where I've been like, no, but it's Genuine. Like it's Parks and Rec. No, but like it's Parks and, like Parks and and they're like, no. And I've been on the other end too, where people are trying to explain things to me and I'm like, you're going to have to say more. But it is funny because Rashida Jones in real life absolutely knows Genuine and knows all these people. I can't remember who I talked to, who we interviewed at some point, who made that very clear point, which I kind of knew because her dad is Quincy Jones, aka huge mega producer, obviously, who knows lots of people in the industry. And she did a documentary on her dad too, which, talks about that a little bit. But I think that's really interesting that, like, she in this show is like, I don't know who this is. And she knows him more than Tom does in real life, know? All right. So let's see. Oh, in the writer's room, Norm said that he didn't know who Genuine was, but apparently it was funny in the room when somebody mentioned it. So that's where that came from. And there are people that don't know who Genuine is. So
ridiculous.
Now, I will say, I may not have known his name, but I would know the song. So if Tom had sang the song, like before all this, maybe Anne would know that, but it doesn't sound like she would. So I don't know.
No.
I think she just is completely removed. And then that's where Tom has his list of no-nos and not knowing 90s hip hop / R&B or whatever is on there. But then again, this whole episode, I'm just like, why are you guys pushing so hard then? You're not compatible.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway. Okay, so Kris is talking to Champion in German with these commands, and Andy is not convinced that it's cool because he's kind of jealous. And he starts speaking gibberish, which I love. He's like saying toxic and Merkel. It's so funny. Wait, who's Merkel? Apparently Pratt can speak a little bit of German. He's not fluent, but he can speak a little bit, so that's nice. And interesting to see that. I don't know what commands these are. I tried to look up some like German words for like sit or stay or bark or lay down or whatever, and it just wasn't coming up. So I don't know.
I meant to check with Logan because his grandparents were German.
Oh,
are German, and on their farm they'd speak German when they'd go work there on summers, and you could only speak German. So he still does he knows a little conversational stuff. Yeah.
I think German is a fascinating language. When Brooklyn, my sister, was in Germany, I was doing the Duolingo for German, and it's so interesting. It's so like opposite extremes. Like some words are very similar to English, like good is gut, as most people know, but the word for menu is Speisekarte. That's not related at all. Or the word for excuse me is Entschuldigung. Like what?
Oh.
Nothing is. But then again, you have these other words that are very similar. Like they say hello for hello or things like that. Yeah for yes. Like it was fascinating to me. They made it harder than it needed to be. It seemed to me.
Agreed.
Anyhow, yeah, I love Champion, by the way. She's like the goodest dog. Well, I'm going to call her she because we know that she's a she in real life, but she's just like the goodest little baby. I want to squeeze her.
I know. She's so cute. Anytime I see a 3-legged animal, though, too, like that is my catnip where I'm just, I need to take you home.
I know. Okay, well, Leslie's taking a phone interview and simultaneously decorating the house, even though she's not really doing it. Ben's doing it, but still. He wouldn't have known to lift up the poster a little bit. But yeah, I love that she's like, I'm totally nailing it, totally doing it. And then guess who forgot to invite Jerry? Oops. Oh my God, it was me. I love when she says that too. And now Ron and Leslie are driving to invite Jerry, and he's like, you need to take a sabbatical. And also, we need to get a cake. Love that too. I do feel like she could have delegated like that part. Like somebody could have gotten the cake for sure, but
absolutely,
it's okay. She's not the best at delegating, as we know.
No,
which she learns.
It's not one of her strengths.
Yeah. And side note, in a deleted scene, she did try, because when I watched this, I was like, why didn't she just call him and say, hey, can you just like run up here really fast? Why do you have to drive all the way back down there? In a deleted scene, she did try to call him. So I want to say that on the record. She did follow the logical steps, but he wasn't answering.
Because that always confused me of just why physically are we getting Jerry?
Yeah, exactly. But he wasn't answering. As we learn, he's in the tub. And the reason Ron goes, because that was another thing, too. I was like, why did Ron go? That's a weird, like, he wouldn't want to go. But the reason Ron goes is because she says, I have to go to town anyway and get your maintenance report, your precious maintenance report. So I'll give that to you at the time. And then he says, yes, we can discuss business while we're driving. And that's where he takes his chance to be like, you need to take another time to say you need to take a sabbatical. Get out of here.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so just a little explanation on that end. And then I do love this line. You're going to say, Leslie can do it all. She's the best, and I'm stupid. That does sound like me.
That was a great Ron.
Thank you so much. I'm like really good at impressions of these people now. Not really, but kind of. Anyway, Tom is testing Anne now, I guess, on compatibility, like whatever the fuck. Talking about thread count for sheets. Anne totally gets it wrong. Do you have a, like, sheet thread count that you need?
I do think I do.
Because it also depends on, like, the fabric of those sheets or the thread.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, dude. I definitely don't, like, have any thought on that.
Literally, all of my sheets and things are still hand-me-downs from my parents. Every time they upgrade, I get their old stuff.
Got it.
The only thing that I've done that's fancy is I got those kitsch satin pillowcases.
Yes. Love
those. And those are amazing.
They are. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they're great for your hair and skin, too. So
exactly. But if someone didn't have those, I wouldn't be like, well, can't date you.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, so stupid. And then this line, I mean, I think it's really funny, but then when you think about it, you're like, this is so stupid. Where she's like, he says she hates everything that I like, which you'd think would be the end. And then he goes, but she's my dream girl. How? Just because she's hot, I guess? Like,
Yeah.
that's really all it comes down to me when I'm watching it. Anyways, April's
'cause
annoyed.
He hates everything about her.
Yeah.
Truly.
Truly.
Like, he does not like anything about Anne except for her face.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And April's annoyed now because they're taking it out on her for, again, their fault for doing that. And she has this line, which I think is the biggest like gif/meme that Aubrey Plaza must have, of the "thank you, alcohol." So good. Love it.
I use that once a month at least.
Honestly. Ugh, thank you. Side note, April is drinking a bottle of sparkling wine from Easley Winery, which is a downtown Indianapolis winery.
Oh,
Great.
nice.
And I thought that they might fall off of that because they were very specific of setting up Indiana in like the first and second seasons. So I'm really glad to hear that they're continuing that. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Leslie's now picking up Jerry, and he's in the tub that we've talked about. And that setup looks so wonderful. That big ass tub, the wood around it. I was like, the wine. Looks so
He's crushing
cool.
it.
Crushing it.
Honestly, stay there. Don't go to the Meagle Lake House since you can't do shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, why is his door unlocked? Question mark. Oh my God. But
Very trusting.
Yeah, I know. I wonder how many other people on that street have their doors unlocked, honestly, because, it is a small town, but still. Anyway, and I think I have this as a note later on, which if I get to the actual note, I'll tell you. But I think they did talk about how they were going to find him to like what was he doing that they'd have to like pull him away kind of thing. And so I think that's kind of where they were like, let's just have her roll up and he's there. You know what I mean? Like she can just get into his house. Like, let's just make it easy as opposed to like the door's unlocked. What do we do? Kind of thing. Because we've already had that kind of thing. So from a writing standpoint, I totally get that. Yeah. And it would make sense. I think Jerry would totally have his door unlocked. Come on.
Absolutely.
So anyway, little interesting fact that I learned on their podcast was that Jim O'Heir did not want to do this scene because he goes, I'm a large man. And he said he's very hairy. And he was like, he said he was really insecure about this and that he did not want to be on screen doing this. And he was like, obviously it was Parks. I love these people. I love the show. So I'll do what I need to do kind of thing. So I did it. But I was not happy really. And like, not in a Devo-ish way, just like very insecure. And then he said that after the fact, he said he was like a poster boy for the gay community in the bear community.
Oh, yeah.
I had never heard of this term, and I am so sorry. As an ally, I want to know everything, but I did Google it, and it is a gay or bisexual man who has facial body hair and a cuddly body.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. In Provincetown, in P-Town, up in Massachusetts, they have a bear festival.
What?
Yes.
Great.
And so when we were there for my family reunion, my uncles and my cousins were like, oh, we have to go to P-Town. And it happened to like coincide with the bear festival. And it was so fun, where it was just like a whole bunch of great cuddly leather daddies walking around. And then like me and my family going to find like a clam bake. It was delightful. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Holly, you got to learn about bears. You got to learn about otters. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. I have so much to learn.
Oh, Logan apparently just kicked in and is cackling from the other room.
Thank you, Logan. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
But I love
your search
that.
history is going to be great.
I can't wait. I cannot
Yes.
wait. I just didn't know that was a subculture, and I love that I learned that. And I also love that something so wonderful came of it after he was insecure, that he was just like loved for it. And I kind of think that that's kind of when I read this, I was thinking of like Cam or whatever in Modern Family, kind of, except for he's not as hairy. Oh, Cam's the one that played the
other
one.
Santa, evil Santa. Yeah.
I couldn't think of his name earlier. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was a really fun little tidbit.
I love that for him. Well, and that just goes to show you so many times too, somebody needs permission to see a body like theirs and go, oh my gosh, that gives me confidence to feel confident in my skin.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Or when you just learn about people that actually do like different kinds of bodies. There are
Yes.
people out there that not will just like you despite your body, but actually really love your body.
Really like you. Yeah.
It's wonderful. All right. Well, now Leslie has a sign that she sees in the yard. And it's a whole thing. There's a website link instead of a picture. She has to deal with that now. Love that she uses the word aplomb. I love that word. Now Anna's complaining to April and kind of lets it slip that Tom wants to break up with Anne. And I'm just like, let him do it. Or you go, whatever.
It's so junior high.
It's so junior high. I think that's what I don't know. I don't think this was intentional, but it totally comes off as like they're showing their like immature sides, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tom already has always had that, but it brings it out in Anne. Okay. Now Andy is taking Champion for a walk and Kris comes out of nowhere, which I love that. What the fuck? Where'd you come from? Oh my gosh. When he lets go of the leash, sometimes you just gotta let a dog be a dog. And Champion just straight up disappears, runs away. Champion's like, bye, love you, never, see you never. Oh my God. Did you notice that the sign place is called Signtologist?
No. Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's like a Bob's Burgers kind of like store. Oh, that's so good. I'm mad at myself now. I was not paying enough attention.
No. I don't think I ever noticed that until this episode. No joke. I mean, maybe I did, but I never gave that much thought to it. But oh my gosh, I just was like, this is so perfect.
Chef's kiss.
Totally. But Leslie's trying to explain to the store worker why they'd never order a sign like this, but the worker says he does what's on the order form. Ron is eating this up. He is smiling, grinning. Oh my gosh, he loves it. But also, like, this was another question of like, who sent this in? Was this another Leslie slipping through the crack thing or an Andy thing? Because you definitely attach a photo when you send something in to be printed, not a link. So I looked I didn't do this on purpose, but I looked in a deleted scene. She's talking to Ben, and he's like, okay, the campaign posters, the signs have to go up tomorrow. Like, have you done it? And she's like, don't worry. Like, I took care of it. I sent a link. She did it.
Leslie.
I know. And it was totally crazy. And this is where Leslie is saying to him, like, the whole point of the scene is like, yeah, we're not doing anything this weekend, right? Like, no campaign stuff. Like, nothing's going on. And Ben's like, we have phone interviews, we have meetings, we have this, that, and the other. And that's why she's taking her phone interview while they're decorating. And she's like, well, we're going to go have a birthday party for Jerry. Bye. And it's this whole thing. But yeah, Leslie, I liked that they show that I can share that with you guys, because I think that that's very in step with what's happening here, because you think about that. And yes, she does say, like, if using human intelligence and logic brain, you can of course assume that you would print a picture and not a link, but you wouldn't send a picture or send a link and not a picture. You know what I'm saying? And look, everybody's allowed to mess up, and I do love though that this worker is just freaking hilarious and so dry. So like, I print what's on the form and then says the whole entire thing. Oh my God.
It's great.
It is so great. Apparently, okay, I know that I'm, pot calling kettle black or whatever, but apparently someone said online that the link that the sign guy reads off doesn't match the link on the actual sign. And I was like, you guys have way too much time to think about that. And I was like, I'm spending 5 hours researching this.
I love that you're like, but this is where I draw the line.
This is where I draw the line. Okay, we know it's a link. I don't need to research it.
Man, that's like the diehard Futurama fans who would figure out all the math.
Oh,
that's like hidden in the show, where I'd be like,
if it's real or not.
That's great for you, but no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because apparently the one on the actual sign doesn't have a file name, like is an actual web address. So like that he couldn't have clicked on it is what they're trying to say. And I'm like, okay. So in case you care about that. Now Tom and Anne are fighting in front of a drunk April. And April brings up the point, like, you should just break up. But all the reasons that you're talking about are stupid. But, so, like, do whatever you need to do, you guys. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm back and forth because I do believe that the things that they're fighting about are stupid, but they're also really important at the same time as far as compatibility.
Yeah. So much of it is just baseline stuff that you just do figure out one or two dates in, right? Of
But, like, can we talk about
thanks.
anything? Or, like, can you respect anything I like?
Yeah.
Because it's really about the respect. Like, I don't have to like everything you like, but we do have to be able to talk about it.
No. Logan is a diehard Tom Waits fan.
I don't know who that is.
Very low, gravelly voice. His songs are usually about death and stuff.
Okay.
Not my jam.
Okay. Yeah.
And, like, you just go through life that way.
Yeah.
Of just, hey, well, when we're on a road trip together, probably not going to listen to Tom Waits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Easy.
Totally.
Easy.
Ugh. Well, Leslie's putting up her campaign signs, and I do feel like this could have waited until tomorrow. Do we need to have all of them replaced right now?
No.
Why? Like, there's a party waiting for you. Come on. Anyway, we finally get to the surprise, and everyone's asleep. Also, side note, I do love her line, though, of, like, we did everything. We, like, did the signs. We stopped for gas, and then we, like, had to walk and get gas, and then we got the cake, and then whatever. And Jerry's, like, the liver medication thing. You should have thought about that, Jerry. God. And I just love how he kind of submits and is like, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have. Anyway, now we're finally here. Everyone's asleep because it took a bajillion years for them to get there. I do love Ben's bedhead and, like, the way he just pops up. That's so funny. And he says that they're either in bed or looking for Champion. Side note, I kind of noticed this, and there is that deleted scene to kind of make up for it, but, like, I didn't realize that Ben, or I didn't realize before, but Ben hasn't really been in this episode very much, I thought.
Barely.
I don't know why that was. It didn't really say, but yeah, it was pretty interesting. Because everything he did could have been done in one day, honestly. Like, it was group stuff, so I'm sure it wasn't, but, like, I don't know. And I'm saying in case he had something else to do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and listening to myself on podcasts sometimes, I'm like, Holly, I don't think everyone understands where your brain went when you said that to that. Like, why did you say that, though? Because, like, and to me, it makes sense. But then either someone will ask me a question or I'll hear it back, and I'm like, you should probably explain how you got from point A to point C. You skipped B. It's okay. Anyway, but that's also the thing. Ask me, because I'll tell you. I just, like, sometimes forget to say it
I'll
myself.
give you that connective tissue. Just
Okay. So now Andy and Kris are looking for Champion in the nighttime. Andy ate one of the soy bones. I love how sincere he is. Like, I ate one of your soy bones. It was really good. And I did notice that Kris is wearing the running shirt, the Bumbo Flex thing that he is wearing when he is running after Leslie when she gets suspended. Kind of great that they brought that back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andy's really sad because he says that Kris should keep Champion because he's not a good dog owner. Kris is better at it. Also, there is this deleted scene, which, like, I guess I'm kind of glad they cut it, but also it really shows how much Champion bonded with Kris. Basically, Andy calls for Champion, like, after they all leave. They're all sitting together with Donna, and Andy leaves, and Andy calls for Champion, and Champion just, like, stays snuggled up to Kris on his lap, and, like, him and Donna just keep talking, and I don't know, I'm kind of glad they cut it, because it was really sad, honestly, watching Andy be, like, keeping calling for Champion, and Champion's just like, no, I'm staying with Kris now. Like, but it definitely showed, like, I just want everybody to know that it, like, Kris is, like, kind of a better owner as far as, like, logistics and that kind of stuff, but which also I think ups the ante for when Kris is like, no, you keep him, like, you love him and he loves you, Champion loves you, you know what I mean, which I think is really nice to see. But anyways, there is one moment that I do appreciate Kris, because in the last couple of episodes, I've been kind of frustrated with him. And he says, I think he likes your music. Like, Champion likes your music. Why don't you sing to him? And Champion comes back. But I do love this delivery from Rob Lowe. Dog whistle. So sweet.
It's so well done, and it's one of the sweetest things that he does too. Because I mean, as annoying as Kris has been on this part of his journey, he is so sad,
so
lonely.
Oh my gosh!
And he bonds with this great animal.
Champion's the therapy dog, man.
Yeah.
For Kris. And I think about this all the time. I'm just like, are people with pets okay, honestly? Because I feel like my cats are one of the reasons I'm happy. Like, are you kidding?
We're
I can
not
snuggle
okay.
them.
Yeah, we're not okay. Gimli is going to be 14 this year. I have spent 14 years with this dog.
Gimli!
I would burn the world for him.
Yeah.
Like, I love him more than anything.
I know it. And it's so funny, too. I think I was watching a video on I don't know what it was, but it was basically along the lines of, like, you're okay with the fact that you would die for him, but they probably wouldn't die for you. And I'm just like, who cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's fine.
Especially cats.
Listen,
Like, come
your
on.
toddler's not going to die for you either. And they have the same cognitive abilities, okay? Every time somebody's like, look, my baby lifted its head up. Cool. All right?
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
That's where I stand on it.
We love parents. Your kids are sometimes trouble.
Maddie, I'm so excited for you. I truly am.
Maddie
I truly
gets it.
am.
Maddie gets it. No,
Yeah,
we are happy
that's-
for parents. We are. We are.
That's just not my journey.
I also think that we are sometimes defensive, if I can just be honest, because so many parents are like, they're not children, which they're not. They're not human people. But they are the loves of our lives. So
Exactly.
that's why the defense comes in. So
Yeah.
do what you need to do, you guys. Just live your life. Okay.
Exactly.
Anyhow, I also wondered why they didn't do the dog whistle earlier. Like, why were they walking around in the nighttime? Like, this could have been solved in 5 seconds. What the fuck?
Yeah. Could have employed that very soon.
What? I also love the song that Andy sings. Because it reminds me of the Snake Juice episode. Because at the end, he's like, like unintelligible, just random words. Oh, so good. All right, so Tom and Anne wake April up now because Jerry's back, and they're back together for whatever reason because they agreed it was stupid stuff that they were arguing over. This is the one time I think that I really connect with April because I'm like, no, stop it. I'm drunk. Stop. Don't listen to me. Shut it down.
You know why they got back together, Holly?
Why? Because they slept together?
Because the sex is too good.
No. Ew. Okay. Anyway. Leslie wants people to say their favorite Jerry story, and she clarifies a positive one, and everyone has nothing to say. Tom is dumb about announcing Anne and him back together, gives them a celeb couple name. Terrible. Breakup. Hate it. Not even 2 seconds back together, and you're already like, stupid. Oh my gosh, also another callback with the Bumbo Flex thing. Donna is wearing the cheetah print robe that Leslie got her for Christmas.
Oh, dang.
Like with their name emblazoned in pink and stuff. Love that.
Aww.
I hope Retta kept that, like in real life. I really hope she got that.
Yeah.
All the pictures in the slideshow, by the way, are actual pictures of Jim O'Hare that he took at home, not on set. They asked him to do that. So that's really cute, and I love that.
That's adorable.
Kris had a sad moment of not quite saying anything nice about Jerry, but also kind of saying something nice, just comparing it to himself of how sad he is. Woof.
It's rough.
That's very sad. I do see that. Leslie falls asleep on Jerry, though, and I just love that everyone's like, it's your problem now. Like, you should probably just stay there. You know what I mean?
Happy birthday.
Right.
Meh.
What are we going to do? And I love Ben, like, she's just really tired, so, like. And I love this line from Ron. Love that he keeps coming back to the eggs. Is this all the eggs we have? What are you making? Eggs. All right, this is our special, like, peak Ron and Leslie moment here at the lake when they're having their little mentor-mentee situation. Ron says he used to work at a sheet metal place, but the tannery job became available. You guys, I feel so dumb in this episode, too, because I had to Google what a tannery was. I was like, wait, what? For those of you who are also on the unknowing life, I was about to say unignorant because, anyway, for those of you who are ignorant of what proving my point again, a tannery is where animal hides are made. Thank you so much. Leather, things like that. Okay, long story short, he tried to work at both, but he was so tired that he made stupid mistakes with what he was doing. And I did not even Google what he said, the like bolt 3-inch cut, whatever shit. I was like, Nick Offerman's got that. Even if it's French to me, it makes sense to him. You know what I mean? But I love this line. Never half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. What a great lesson.
Exactly.
It's so
I
hard.
say that all the time. It's really hard.
It's so hard when you're like, for me, that's one of the things that not holds me back, but like something that I really have to like be aware of. I feel like I'm passionate about so many things, but like and my dad has said this too, which like that is something I'll give him credit for. It's like some parable. I don't know where it's from, but basically it's like somebody chasing 2 rabbits instead of 1, which I do hate that analogy because it's like that kill 2 birds with 1 stone thing.
Yeah.
Like I need to find a better one. But yeah, same vein though. Like if you are making stupid mistakes because your mind is split in so many different places, like do the thing that you really are in love with at that moment, you know, and that's always hard. Sometimes you'll have to take breaks. That's what I've learned is like sometimes I'll have to do the music thing one time and then I'll focus on the acting thing one time, then I'll focus on the podcast one time. And sometimes they can overlap, but usually there's one thing that's taking precedence at that time. And that's what she's having to do. Like, it's not that she can't be in the Parks and Rec department, but she has to focus on one thing right now and then she'll go back. You know what I mean?
This is a hard episode to watch, honestly, because you're so frustrated with Leslie.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious she shouldn't be doing all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least for me, while I was watching this episode, I was multitasking.
I know!
I was doing work emails and then cutting over to doing an edit and then reading over some sides and going, oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting, too, that there have been studies done. I don't know how like accurate or whatever, but it makes sense to me. There have been scientific studies done that say that when you're multitasking, you actually aren't multitasking at all. Your brain is focused on one thing, and then you're like, again, half-assing that second thing. I do this all the time. Oh my God. When I play Wordle, I'm usually listening to a podcast, or I'm working, or I'm like listening to music or some other thing. And so I'm trying to do the Wordle and figure that out. And I swear, as soon as I take out my podcast, I can get it. And I'm just like, this is because my mind is focused on the podcast. And that's something small, but it's really interesting. I never knew that, I think, or I never thought about it until that, like, whoever it was told me about that article. But even like working out, I think about that a lot. Like at the gym, you actually do get a better workout if you're not watching TV during the time. And I'm not saying that like you shouldn't do that, because nobody wants to be at the gym and not have something else distracting them, kind of. But like, it is true, but especially in these like professional things that Leslie needs to do, and it just sucks. I thought about Maddie a lot too. If Maddie's listening to this, we talk about this a lot, and Maddie's like very much like, I can do it all, like I can, and so am I. But you know, I think that was a lesson, and she would say this too. I think that was a lesson that she was really good at learning. I think it was last year or the year before that. Because me, I think for Leslie, I don't know if it's so much, but especially for me and Maddie, a lot of the times it was people pleasing. Because we were like, yeah, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Like, sure. And for me, I can't do that anymore. It's just like so not worth it. Because I found that when you're pleasing everyone, this is such a tangent, I'm almost done. But when you're pleasing everyone, you're actually pleasing no one. I've learned. And because that whole thing of like, when you're people pleasing everyone else, you're really not taking care of yourself. And I'm like, I know that. Like, hello. I'm doing the thing. Hello. I get it. That's the whole point of what I'm doing. But like when you say you can do stuff and then you flake out, or you actually can't deliver up to 100% of what it is, you're actually not pleasing that other person at all.
Mm-hmm.
So Leslie had some lessons to learn, as we all do. But I mean, this is a huge change for her. Like, she has to give herself grace, as we all do, to transition from something that she's been doing for her whole life, basically, her whole like career. And now she's just suddenly going to go down to 10 hours when she's been working
it's
like
her
60.
whole personality.
Yeah.
Like, service is her whole personality. Yeah. And when I say service, I mean to others, work for others for the benefit of her town. And yes, her campaign ultimately is that in her mind. But municipal work is like her reason to wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Ron makes that good point of like, campaigning is a full-time job. Like, the actual job itself is not. That's why we have to focus on one thing just for the time being, and then we can move forward. I thought she was going to say, like, I'll take it down to 30 or 25 hours. So when she said 10, I was like, Leslie, good for you. I was really happy about her.
Yeah.
Anyway, love that moment. So special between, Leslie and Ron. So great. Okay, so now Tom and Ann are kind of laughing, I guess, and whatever. And April hates that they're talking to her about stuff still, because they're like back in the office, and they are laughing together in Tom's office. I don't fucking know, but I do love that Andy is precious and is like, you know, they care about you or whatever, and they like care about what you think. That's special. And then Andy, I love this moment. He gives champion to Kris for a little bit because he knows that Kris is lonely, and it's so special. And I love this moment from Aubrey Plaza of like this smile that she gives to Andy, so smitten and like, oh my God, he's so caring and thoughtful. Googly eyes. So precious. Love that.
It's a good moment.
All right, so Leslie comes in now and says, you know, sorry we messed up the party, but we all chipped in and are sending you to your favorite place, which is Muncie, Indiana. His favorite place in the world. I love Andy's, like, comment. I don't know if this was improvised or not, but he, like, they're all like, yeah, it was nothing, whatever. And Andy's like, it was really expensive. It's so funny. There is a deleted scene. Oh my God, it's so sad. There's a deleted scene where he comes back. They ask how it went, and they said they went ice skating and antiquing. That was all on the first day. And then he's like, but then we spent the rest of the time in bed, and everybody's like, ew. And he's like, no, we got food poisoning, and it had to stay in the bed the whole time. But thanks so much, guys. And Leslie's like, my pleasure. It's like so Jerry. Oh my God. But I'm glad they cut it because we've seen enough sadness for Jerry, so.
Yes.
Especially in this episode, my God. Anyhow, oh my God, this tag, I think, goes down in history so far as one of, like, the, I don't know, man, it was so bittersweet, heartfelt, like, all in facial expressions, too. And no word was spoken, so she gets the phone call for the campaign. Ron is like, take it. And she wasn't going to, but she takes it. It's so emotional when you, especially with how far we've come on analyzing it and just like seeing her journey here, like the look back and the nod and acknowledgement, like, dare I say, almost bittersweet of like, I'm looking back at my past and I'm going forward to my future. And Ron sees that and gives this beautiful look of like, you have to do this. Like, I have to send you off into battle, basically. Like, Oh, it's so gorgeous. I love it so much.
It's such a beautiful moment of seeing Ron be the mentor that Leslie has always said he is.
Mm-hmm.
And him actually stepping up to the plate and doing that, even though it's what she didn't think she needed.
Yes. So true. Great point. And I also think it's really lovely because with Ron, I think, like, we do get this further. It's not his mentorship, like, from a job standpoint. I feel like so many, when you think of mentors, you think of like, you know, how can they help me in my career kind of thing, which it is doing that. He is doing that. But it's more of an emotional mentorship, which is actually really wild for Ron to be that person. But again, yeah, it's that back and forth. That's a great point of Leslie, like, knowing that he has that in him, but like she didn't know that she needed it in that moment kind of thing. It's so special.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Nick Offerman, great work. Great work. And also congrats to him on Last of Us. So exciting.
Emmy award-winning Nick Offerman.
Emmy award-winning.
That episode is devastating.
I haven't watched it, Kris. I'm scared.
Oh my gosh.
People
Holly.
have said that I could just watch that episode because after the first episode, I was really terrified.
Okay, you truly can. You truly can. It is a wonderful capsule episode. That series, I wouldn't binge it because it is intense and it's so emotional. We got to that episode and we used to do watch parties, right? Because we would do like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Went, ooh, Last of Us, that'll be our next one. People couldn't make it to see that one. And that episode is when we all as a group were like, we all watch this alone. We do not watch this with each other because like we were sobbing.
Oh, God.
It's beautiful.
Okay, I'll watch it just
It's
for
a
him.
really, really good show, but pace yourself, and his performance is so wonderful. His and Murray Bartlett's, his scene
which is
partner,
the guy from White
everything
Lotus,
is
yeah?
wonderful. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta watch it. I will.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the list. Yeah. Okay, that's good. And so you're saying that it wasn't like meant to be watched alone, like you all just had separate reasons, but coincidentally it was like, we can't watch this together. We should.
It was
like,
one of those things where it was like, it's not gonna work out for us all to see it tonight together. No worries, we'll watch next week. And like, I was ridiculous. You know how I throw parties. So I had like theme food. And so I made like a cake that was on theme with it. And because everything's like cordyceps. And so I also made like a mushroom pasta and all this other stuff. And then after that, I was like, oh, this is not a fun thing we all do together.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll add it to the list.
I think you'll really like it, though.
I think I will too, and especially Pedro. I mean, come on. There's nothing wrong with that show at all. It's totally my, like, I'm scared. So pacing myself would be maybe watching it during the weekend on a day. During the day.
Oh, the video game, I can't play it at night.
Really?
Yeah. And I will say the video game, to me, is scarier because the clickers are more present. But also when you're playing it, like, you have agency. So it's spooky.
That's true. Oh, my God. Yeah. Amazing. You know what else I have to watch? Poor Things or whatever, because I want to know what that
yes, I have to watch that one
Barney.
Too. Yeah.
I'm sure it's great.
I've heard it's very odd and wild.
Yeah, once I learned what it was about, I understood it. It's like one of those things that in this season, you're like seeing all these trailers and you're like, what the fuck is this movie even about? I don't get it. And then I like read the description. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah, but I hope Barbie wins more things, but I don't think it will. Too. I really don't. I don't know. I'm holding out hope, but I just think they're being stupid. And everyone, oh my God. You know what? I'll say this off air. Never mind. I have something to say to you. All right, guys, that is actually the end. So that was just a little tangent of Nick Offerman getting an Emmy, but that was the end that I have. Do you have anything else? Any other notes you want to say?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. What a great episode.
Great episode. Thanks for sticking around for all those voice memos, too. I'll try to put it in the show notes or something when this episode actually starts, like probably an hour in or something. But who cares? You guys are here for it. Take a pause. If you needed to pause, great. Whatever. Don't forget to rate and review. I would love that. And follow Two Filthy Casuals for Kris Carr. Love that so
and
much.
To listen to Holly.
Oh my God, yes. I got to be on the episode about Parks and Rec, and I just thought, I love that. This is my only skill now, and I'm so excited about that.
You have a bajillion skills. This is just one of many.
Oh my gosh. This is my favorite skill, though, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I love it so much, talking about my favorite things. It was so fun. It was so, so fun. And that was my first ever like podcast as a guest, so it was a really nice way to kind of get my feet wet.
Yay.
Thank you for having me. And
thank you for having me.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, we will see you next time. And man, the campaign's coming. It's coming in hot. Bobby Newport's going to come back. Yes. And Jen Barkley's going to be coming. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Jen Barkley.
Queen
of all things. Okay. Well, thank you. We hope you have a lovely week or whatever, you're listening, whenever, day, whatever the hell. But we love you and talk to you soon. Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.